Pacific Trails Resort Case Study, Chapter 2, Part 2. While we're off camera, I started to fill in some of the information that we have for the web page. I also corrected, I noticed that I did not end the div tag with a slash here on this middle line. Let's turn on my line numbers. This is something I always like to do so that I can talk about things a little better. So here on line 9, at the end of line 9, the ending div tag, I did insert the slash there. And then I added lines 10, 11, 12. Lines 12 and 13, we're starting to build an unordered list. And we're going to have 4 or 5 items here. So let's copy the first list item. We don't have any text yet, but we're building the structure for it. So let's copy that item, and then we'll paste it in here a number of times. I'm using the Control-C shortcut to copy and the Control-V shortcut to paste. And that ends our unordered list. And let's start to put just some of the text in here. You can fill the rest of this in later. And we always want to build incrementally. This is something I completely recommend. No matter what your level of experience is, do a little bit of work, build incrementally, and then view it in the browser to make sure you're on track. And let's expand this a little bit. And it looks like good. We've got the next subheading. We've got the beginning of a paragraph here. And we've got some list items. And they're looking the way we want them to be. Wonderful. Okay, now after the list, the unordered list, we have some additional text, and let me go ahead and grab some of that from another file here, which I have used to complete. In fact, this is the completed site. So here we are now down near the bottom. We have the list items. We've got another div area. Let's turn on the line numbers in this file. So here, line 20, a div tag. Line 24, an ending div tag. So it's another nested block. So we're going to indent the items that are in it. I ended each line in here, excuse me, with a break. And let's show what happens when we take those breaks out. I think you're probably going to guess correctly that the browser ignores spaces, lines that are broken without special tags. So let's save this file and view it in the browser. All right, so here was the top part of our file, and then we were starting to put in an address at the bottom. And we wanted it to appear with the name of the company and then the address broken up in lines, but we know that the browser ignores white space, ignores breaks unless we force them with special tags, and ignores spaces unless we use special characters. So let's add those break characters back again. File, save. View in the browser, and here we go. There's our address. So this is another extremely common mistake where we feel that we're typing something like we have here in lines 21 through 23, and that it will simply appear as we type it, and that is not the case. The browser ignores movement to new lines unless we force the break with this BR character. So that was lines 20 through 24 to create the address space. Then we're asked to create a footer at the bottom. Again, we have a div tag to separate the areas, lines 25 through 29. And we added some special tags to make the text small and italic. We used a copyright character here on line 26. This is similar to the special character we used up above for spacing. There's a number of special characters. These are listed in Chapter 2, and you should take a look at those. Notice that it also ends with a semicolon. Also notice the TextPad is using special colorization for these special characters. So TextPad does a lot of nice things for you. It's one of the reasons I recommend that you use it over simply using Notepad or a less complete text editor. We're also using the break character again at the end of the line, and then we're asked to put our name in at the end. Again, we're ending with the ending the tags. Notice, this is an important example here. Notice how we continue to nest. So we began with div small I, and so we have to end in reverse order. So there's the I, we end with an I, end with a small, and then in line 29, we end with a div. So we want to keep things nested within themselves. This is a small example, and it wouldn't hurt it if we confused the order, but in other situations, we would find that the order is very important. So div tag, ending div tag, small, and the ending small, the I and the ending all. And let's look one more time at, let's save that file and view it in the browser to make sure everything looks correct. And there it is. So at the bottom, notice we have the smaller text and we have the italics, and then we will add our name at the bottom. So finish that exercise, that case study at the end of chapter 2. Again, we will build on this case study in subsequent chapters, so it's important that you keep up with this case study. It also allows us, of course, to practice what we've learned throughout the chapter.